Hello, everybody. Welcome to the review of round 14. This was the third of the bye rounds with six teams having a bye, and a lot of our teams in our footy wide affected by this, which you can see in the results of the scores and how some players are put in different positions. So, we're going to have a quick review today. Well, not quick, I'll do my usual 15-20 minutes. And then we'll have a quick preview of round 15, where there's another six teams, the last of the buys, um, as we are now doing one review slash preview a week. So we should get started and go straight into the reviews. All right, so what better way to start than going first versus second of the ladder? It was Sugar Daddies versus Punter Paddock. Start of the round, they were first and second, and the end of the round, they're first and second. However, Sugar Daddies now have got a 3-game lead on top of the ladder after defeating Punters Paddock, 369 to 318. Punters Paddock got their projection, while Sugar Daddies were up by about 23 points. Both scores were low because they were short. In fact, I don't think they had any players to really play on the bench, but we'll go through all that in a second. As you can tell, there was a few standouts in this game. Um, both full forwards were fantastic. Nick Lucky got 48. He was up 92%. Had a great game. Very unlucky not to get the win. Um, North Melbourne, but, choked. The Hawks know how it felt a few weeks ago. Let's see if North can learn like the Hawks did. But Lucky got 48, up 92%. And Schultz, on the other side, Schultz got 43, up 111%. He's probably his best game for Collingwood so far. So he got 43 points as a full forward. Both half forwards were okay in the 30s, Hogan and Dawson. Sarong and Dacos as utilities weren't that fantastic, 70 and 60, so that's nothing to write home about. Sharing the ruck was up 7%, got 39. He had a great game. Ed Richards, at one stage kicked a goal and a mark in the first 2 minutes. So we're thinking, oh, here we go. Collie was excited because we're at the pub with Collie, me and my brother were. But he ended up finishing on 6, and he was still up 9% because I think his average was 5.8. Dale in the midfield was great. He got 61, up 29%. So he did pretty good. And he was loophole, actually. So he was a loophole player. He played pretty good. Trelaw down 13%, got 52. Still a very good score. Dave was down, but Sinclair was also loopholed, up 25% and got 58. So he had a pretty good game for the Saints on Friday night. Both halfbacks, let's have a look at it. Wilkie was up 38%, up 63, or got 63 points, up 38%. Had a good game, while Keane was down 25%. He got 37. And both tacklers, Rosie was up, but both tacklers weren't that fantastic. Have a quick look at the optimised squads. And it would have been 381 to 344. Sugar Daddies would have still got the win. I think Dale would have come into utility, and Noble would have been a tackle over here, where Ed Richards would have been a half forward, and Dawson would have been the ruck. Trelaw the utility there, and Dacos is a follower. But other than that, they didn't have much to play with, to be honest. So that was that game there. So let's have a look at the next game now. It's Gods of Olympus, who move up to third on the ladder, their highest position for the year, 391.5, up 16.7 points on their projection, defeating Renegades, who were also affected by the buyers, stay in sixth position, and they got 334.5, down 10 points of their projections on that one. So there's a couple standout performances here to have a look at with this one. Marbel Chol up 114%, got 45 points as a full forward. That was in the Hawthorn Richmond game in front of 92,000 people. Dusty's farewell game because he's going to retire. And Bolton in that same game only got 15, so he was down a fair bit. Let's have a look at it. Green, bit down. I think he got 1 goal 4 or 1 goal 5 or something. However, Gordon was fantastic. Up 13%, got 53 as a half forward. Both utilities were serviceable. LDU was up a little bit. Marshall was down a little bit. Both got 88 and 82, so they were pretty serviceable there. Darcy in the ruck was great, up 24%, got 38, and Big O got 26. Dunkley was a loophole with 46 in the mid, and Clark was down. He got 49 in the mid. Still good scores. Kelly was back from his injury, got 43 as a follower, where Whitfield got 47. So, but all the midfielders got pretty good scores, to be honest, but nothing to highlight, really. And Blakey was down as a halfback and got 40, and Walker as a tackler was down 60% and got 10. We're over for Gods of Olympus. This was the difference in the game, really. James Sicily up 80 or 68%. I need my glasses. I got 82 points as a halfback. I think I got 28 kicks all up. He was fantastic for the Hawks and for the Gods. Got 82 as a halfback. Great work for Sicily. Hopefully he's back to his best. And as a tackler, Hayden Young got 37 up 13%. So he was really good in that game against the Dogs. With 37 for Hayden Young. Have a quick look at the optimised lineups. It still would have been the Gods. Big score in the optimised line, 442.5 to 364. Full forwards won't change, whereas Hayden Young would have been the half forward for Michael, and Rankin would have come in from injury as a half forward. Dunkley and Goulden as the utilities. Goulden 116.5, great score. Rucks don't change. Hinge would have come in as a mid at 64, would have been a great score. As well, LDU, good score as well. And Kelly and Farrell. Then Maynard, halfback. Jackson, tackler. Whitfield, the tackler for Mick. And Sicily, the halfback, stays where he is. So let's move on now to the game of the round. Let's have a look at the game of the round. And it's two teams in the bottom of the five. It's Maltese Falcons, who are in 7th, were defeated by Top Guns, who are in 9th. Top Guns 349.5, up 4.6 in projections, while Maltese Falcons 339, down 26 points projections. Both teams, once again, slightly affected by buys. Top Guns not so much, but Maltese Falcons had a few of their better players out. And you'll be able to see they didn't have really too many options to choose from. But if we have a quick look at the games, or the players, shall we say, full forward Tracy, pretty good, up 23%, got 35, whereas Papley did right with 26. Warner was down 20%, not his best game, but still quite effective with 35 as a half forward, where Hayward done nothing, 16. Both utilities were fantastic. Dacos got 94, up 4%, and his 94 probably came, probably 30 of 35 of that come in the last quarter when the tag got dropped or the tag got shifted to an old man. And then the other side, Heaney, 98.5, kicked a couple of goals in the last quarter, I think, or the third quarter. And he ended up having a pretty good game. 98.5 is fantastic, up 7%. So he's still on his way to his Brownlow medal at this stage, you would think. In the rucks, as you can tell, Top Guns only had to have the Keys, didn't have a ruckman to choose from. So Keys got 5. Whereas Meek was down 30% and got 27. Midfield, Tom Green, down 5%, but 51 was still pretty good. And Crisp, the other midfielder, up 23%, 43. But the highlight here is Laird, 65, up 31%. And Houston, 66, up 64%. Both those midfielders and followers were fantastic. Houston had an all-round great game. And looking at both those players, if you have a look at it, 99 for Les Utility and 112 for Houston's Utility. So halfback 73 for Houston as well. So both those players had fantastic games. And then Bonner was disappointing as a halfback, with Briggs still right as a tackler with 28. And the other side, Ryan, down 22%. 51 still good halfback score, but down on his usual output. And Drew, 22 as a tackler. Let's have a look at the optimised lineups. As you can tell here, by the way, not much to choose from, really, was there? Either way, so optimised lineups you would think wouldn't be too much different. Were they 339, 349.5? Slightly better. The result will not have changed, but Falcons would have got an extra 5 points, but Top Guns would have got an extra 12 points. And then the Keys would have come into full forward. Tracy stays where he is. Warner stays where he is. Heaney would have been the half forward. And Houston the utility. Whereas Chris would have gone to utility for Falcons. And then who we got? Meek and Papley as the rucks. Dacos and Laird as the mids. Followers Lloyd and Green. And then halfbacks and tacklers do not change in that one. So we'll be back after this commercial break. Enjoy.
Vykouřila bys mi ho?
Vykouřit? No, to radši asi ne.
Třeba rukou bys mi to neudělala?
Jak jako rukou?
No, vem si, že je to třeba, já nevím, lahev od kečupu a ty se snažíš ten zbytek dostat ven.
Kečup?
No.
No, OK.
Heinz, nezapomenutelné momenty.
Již od roku 1869.
Welcome back, and we'd like to thank our sponsors for that short message. Let's move on to the next game. It's Rangers Anonymous, 8th, getting the win over Second Destroy, who are 5th. Rangers Anonymous pretty much got their projection, 352.5, slightly up, whereas Second Destroy, not much to choose from, we're slightly down with 297, only teed up to make 300 this week. Have a quick look at it. Both full forwards weren't that great, both got 22. Half forwards, though, I made mention of this during the week, during the Friday night. 59 for Danaher, up 38%. Fantastic. I think he kicked 5 goals, and all around pretty good game for Joey. Whereas the other side, Hugh McCluggage had a couple of goals himself. I think they come back to back in the second quarter, maybe. And he also had about 21 or 22 kicks. He got 56, and he was up 65% as a half forward. So both of those players were fantastic. The utilities are both in Dusty's last game. Mank got 69, whereas Taranto, pretty good game. He got 33 possessions for his, I think it was his first game back from injury. I can't remember, maybe second game, I can't remember. But he was up 20% and got 97.5, so he had a pretty good game. Kicked a floater of a mung of a goal. But yeah, good effort there. In the rucks, Strawny was down. Only got 5%, but it's his second game, got 19. And Darcy Cameron got 41, up 27%. So Darcy Cameron had a good game against Sherry. Against both, there was 2 rucks actually he was up against, so he had a pretty good game there. In that thrilling win where Collingwood controversially got it because there should have been a 50-metre penalty for North. But anyway, I digress. Still was tagged out of the game, only got 33 as a mid, and Brayshaw only got 34 as a mid. He didn't have a good game either. Whereas over here, Neil slightly down with 46. He was loopholed, and Baker didn't have a great game. He got 28. Both halfbacks weren't that great either. Fisher 39, disappointing for my super coach, and Vlosten got 49. Good score. 50 scores, the score you want as a halfback. Obviously, you want more, but 50 is about what you want. Ideally, you'll see that's why I made a change that didn't help. And as for the tacklers, Second Destroy did not have a tackler. Had Samson Ryan's tackler. He got 5 because he must have been short with players. And Rowbottom got 35 and down slightly. No players. Look at that. So I presume he's going to have a team next week. And then over here, obviously, quite a few to choose from for Rangers Anonymous. They had a few players had the bye last week. So let's look at optimised lineups. The week before, should I say. Still would have been the big win for Rangers Anonymous. 370 they would have got, where Second Destroy only slightly better. Taylor Adams would have been the full forward. Actually, let's just have a look at it. The only change there would have been, I think, Steele as the follower and Brayshaw as a midfielder. and Fisher there, and then Allen. Well, that doesn't make a difference. Michael must have purposely put that in there. And over here, Rowbottom in the mid and Baker as a tackler are the only other changes to that team. They're off locking the also follower to that one. So we'll move on to the next game. So it's the last game of the round. It's Gators Bitches who get the win, move up to fourth, defeating Bombers Forever who stay rock bottom on top. Technically can still make finals. I think there's 5, 1, what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games to go. That's 7 games to go. So let's pause that for a second. 21. Where are we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 21 must be set up so Mahal can do start his finals fixture. So 6 games to go. So apologies for that, everyone. 6 games to go. So that's 24 points available, and 24 points going to 36. So technically, if these teams lose and Bombers win, mathematically possible, but it's impossible. Let's be honest. So he's not going to make it. There are other teams still has a chance at this stage. Sugar has, by the way, consolidated his spot. But anyway, let's get into this last game of the round. It's Gators Bitches 4th, defeating Bombers Forever 10th. 367 up 8 points projection to Bombers Forever 310 down 42.8 points on their projection. Have a look at it. Have a few quick highlights. Hugo Hagen was fantastic. He was up 45% and got 41 as a full forward. Kicked a few goals, so he was pretty good as the main forward for the Doggies on the day. Whereas for some reason I decided to give Tom Lynch a go and he was shit. Move on. Horn Francis wasn't that great, and Dylan Moore got 35. About the score you want for a half forward, to be honest. He was quite up 7%. Butters was no good. 56 is usually down 33%. The Bont, though, the flu game. Jordan's flu game, Bont's flu game. He was loopholed in. I was a bit worried, so I loopholed him because he had the flu. He got 121, up 30%. Absolute fantastic all-round great game by the Bont. In the ruck, both rucks were great. English got 39, up 9%. So he had a pretty good game, especially against Darcy and Jackson. But over here, Grundy up against Strawn, second gamer, third gamer, 53%. He would have even got 100 as a utility. So Grundy had a great game. So up 53%, got 52 points, should I say. So Grundy had a great game. Midfielders weren't that great for Bombers Forever. 37-33 for Zaligo and Sheasel. Highlight over here, Zorko got 66, up 30% as a midfielder. So he had a great game. I said great a lot tonight. And Newcomb got 42 as a follower. Haynes as a halfback got 52 points, up 35%. I feel like he took a bit of Himmelberg's position because he was down and he was down 32%, got 33. I was saying it before how I was sick of Harris Andrews. He gets 50, so it's consistent getting 50. But I want someone a bit more, so I thought I'll give Himmelberg a go, and he was no good as well. So maybe I'll have to stick back to Harris Andrews next week. Although Harris Andrews got 31 this week, so that's not great either. Anyway, Libba got loopholed in and got 35 as a tackler, whereas Nash got 14, and he was no good. Not much else to choose from, but let's have a quick look at it. Optimised lineups. Would have been 356, up 46 points for Bombers Forever. Still would not have been good enough to beat the Gators. King would have been at full forward. Good news is he's hit form. Bad news is he's got a bye. Hugo Hagen stays where he is. Saliga would have been the half forward. More stays where he is. They stay the same. Utility and Limber would have come as utility. The ruck stay as they are. Newcomb would have been the midfielder, as would have Horn Francis, and Butters as a follower. Short, that's 3 games in a row. Short will be in there. And Zorko would have been the halfback. Haynes where he is, and the tacklers would have been Sheasel and Nash stays where he is for me. The bad news is out of my optimised lineup, all but Grundy and Zorko have the bye next week. Anyway, Stiff, good luck for you because I got buys. So let's have a quick look at the team of the round. And the ladder. Okay, it's the team of the round for round 14, and that would have been 552.5. Would have been Danaher as the full forward and Bont as the half forward. Goulden would have been the utility, Grundy the ruck, Zorko the mid, Houston as the follower, Sicily the halfback, and Whitfield the tackler. That would have been three gods, three gators, a Top Gun, and a Seek and Destroy in that team. So let's have a look at the ladder. As mentioned, still on his winning streak, hasn't lost since I think Renegades beat him round 6 or 5 or whatever it might have been. So that's possibly 10 or something wins in a row. The form guides there. Sugar Daddies 3 games clear on top. No, you haven't paid this year, Sugar, but if you finish on top, you don't need to pay because you're guaranteed your $50 back anyway. Punters Paddock has paid. Gave the money to Mick. He's second on the ladder, so his form guy went win, and now lost the game. Gods of Olympus move up to third on a 4 or 5 game, on a pretty good win streak. They are. Actually, Mick, if you can put win streak there, besides form guide, actually put the streak will be nice to help me out, so I don't have to go look for it. Thanks, Mick. And Gators Bitches, who have won 3 in a row, go to fourth on the ladder. So Gods Olympus are there based on points 4. Not much difference. What is that? 12 points. Second Destroyer dropped to 5th based on points 4 as well. Dropped down 2 spots. And they've had some reform Renegades. There is now a, 28 3-game gap on the ladder. 28, 32, 30. Yep, 3-game difference. So the top 5, 6 games to go. It's getting close. Renegades should have a win next week because I've got everyone on the bye. Falcons, both same points as Renegades, and then Rangers on 20th, Top Guns 20th, and Bombers Forever 12th. So everyone's still in the chance. Bombers Forever, it's pretty much over. And Top Guns, Rangers, Maltese, and Renegades can still make a run. But yeah, it's looking very difficult at this stage, but you never know. So, yes. What we'll do is we'll go have a quick commercial break and we'll come back with a quick preview of next week's round.
It was that the world was not round.
Check out the buns.
But flat.
The back is flat.
Okay, class.
Well, I like 'em really hot, I like 'em really flat, I like 'em looking just like a pancake stack. What about the hiney? Got no hiney? I call you your highness. In anatomy class, you got a butt minus. Flatter makes a better rear. Stand sideways, girl, you disappear. Flat buns, I like flat buns. I like the flat
The
ones.
Patty Melt on flat buns. Only at Carl's Jr.
Welcome back to a quick preview of round 15. We'll have a quick look at the fixture. Alright, so next week it's Top Guns against Sugar Daddies. Gods of Olympus will play Punters Paddock. Rangers Anonymous will play Maltese Falcons. It's Gators Bitches versus Renegades, and it's Bombers Forever versus Seek and Destroy. Next week's games start on Friday with Carlton versus Geelong at the MCG. Then it's Port Adelaide versus the Lions in Adelaide. GWS play Sydney, so the Sydney Derby. That's on Saturday 4:35, and then Saturday night is Melbourne versus North Melbourne. Sunday is the Essendon versus the Eagles at Marvel, and there's also Fremantle versus the Suns, the twilight game or the 4 o'clock game in WA on Sunday. The buys next week are Adelaide, Collingwood, Hawks, Tigers, Saints, and the Dogs. So a lot of teams will be affected. As I said, I've got quite a few out next week, so I'm obviously going to be affected by that one as well for next week's games. So that's that one there. While we're at it, we might as well have a quick look at the teams affected next week. It is the last of the buys. As we can tell, next week there will be, for Sugar Daddies, 1, 2. So next week will be Will Day missing, Wilkie Winhager missing, Wangani Malera missing, Noble missing, as well as Norton, who's injured anyway. They're the players that will be missing for what's your name again? Sugar Daddies, that's you. Let's have a look at punters. Paddock. He'll have Schultz, Dawson, and Dacos all out. Richards and Trelaw out. Sinclair out. Oh man, I wish I had you next week because I've got no one either. So they're the players that will be missing next week, as will Keane, and Elliott's injured anyway. And yeah, that's your team. Hopefully you got Danger back, otherwise you might be short next week. I feel like I'm the only person that hasn't copped anyone with buys. Like I'm the only person that hasn't had a good run at it. God's Olympus next week. Shea Bolden will be out. Marshall will be out. Sicily will be out. Crouch is injured anyway. Hinge will be out. Eamon will be out. Bradley Hill will be out. Sam Darcy's injured, suspended anyway. Matt Flynn will be out for him. Gators bitches. Who we got? We got Tom Lynch, Dylan Moore, Marcus Bontempelli, John Newcomb, Connor Nash, DeGoey and Mitchell are out anyway. Jaden Short and Max King are all missing. Other players, well, then I've got injured, and doesn't play. Shit. Bloody hell. I'm struggling next week. Second Destroy. They will have Nank, Cameron, Steele, Samson Ryan. Look, that matters. And that's about it. Renegades, Chol, Warple, Rankin, Maynard, Bolter, and Mychek. Yeah, great. Full team against me. Thanks, mate. Maltese Falcons will have Dacos, Meek, Crisp, Boner, Garcia, Ned Reeves, and Mitch Lewis, who will probably be back after the bye, you would suspect. Rangers Anonymous will have Taranto, Strawn, Baker, Vlaston, Rolly O'Brien, and Strawn. So he will have no ruck next week, whoever plays Rangers Anonymous. Hopper will be out, and Darcy Moore will be out, so no ruck for him. Top Guns will have Keys and Laird out. They will also have Pendlebury out, who's injured anyway. And that's about it. And then finally, Bombers Forever will have Hugo Hagen out, Tim English, Jake Saligo, Tom Liberatore, Taylor Walker. So yeah, so it looks like Punters Paddock and Gators pitchers and Brad Crouch obviously. Yeah, so that looks like they're the ones who have got the most buys next week. So that is it for this week's review / preview. Everyone have a great week. Starts off next week with the Cats and the Blues, both coming off a bye. So we'll see how that game goes. And other than that, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you all later.